Hello everyone, greetings from Moscow. We'll just give a couple of more minutes for others to join and then we'll start today's meeting. I will now play the short video to check the sound if you can hear us well. So while watching the video, please type in the chat box either a plus or a smile signing that you can hear us well.
I always wanted to be an English teacher. People remember the teachers that meant something to them, that inspired them, that saw them for who they could be, recognized their potential, and helped them reach it. Becoming that teacher is who I want to be. To motivate my students, to support their learning and help them reach their goals. Learning a language is an exciting journey, but it isn't straightforward. Every learner needs support and encouragement, and every learner is different. I wasn't sure I'd have the skills to help all my students succeed. My Cambridge English teaching qualification gave me the knowledge and confidence to teach English. It also provided me real-life teaching experience and the skills to be able to find the right approach for the different challenges students face day to day. There are times where learning English can be challenging. I understand. I've been there too. The practical skills and knowledge I gained from taking a teaching qualification helped me to understand how my students learn English, how I can help them overcome their challenges, and keep them motivated throughout their learning journey. And I'm happy I've given them the confidence to succeed. Moments like these make it all worthwhile. I am proud to have the opportunity to help my students realize their potential and achieve their goals. Become the teacher you want to be.
Once again, hello and welcome to those who have just joined our meeting. Before we go further, let me start with some instructions on some words for housekeeping. So if you are running several, here are they. If you are running several programs, have several tabs open in your browser, to avoid any technical issues, we recommend to close them. And you may also want to unplug any devices you are not wanting to use for the next 2 hours. If the video appears fuzzy or the sound quality drops, you may need to refresh or try another browser. We strongly recommend using Chrome, but Firefox is also a good alternative. If you have any questions, please be sure to type them in the question box, which is in the upper right corner of the screen. Your answers to the presenter's questions, your ideas, your feedback can be shared in the chat box. So that's pretty all from me. I am giving the floor to Elena, the head of our representative office. Elena, you're on mute.
Sorry. Can we have the slide? This is a purple one Julia has added or not. Perfect. Have a look, my dear friends. So first, welcome to our webinar organized by Cambridge University Press and Assessment. Can you see these wonderful pictures? Everything. So may I take just a couple of minutes of your time before the webinar? So from the 3 days of our webinar, we could see that the majority of our participants are from Uzbekistan. And if you don't mind, I'll just update you on some initiatives in Uzbekistan in just a couple of sentences. So in May, you definitely remember 2021, the government announced a special presidential decree to increase the quality and reach of foreign language learning in the country, of course, including English. And this decree also established, probably you all know, these wonderful, highly professional people, the Agency for Promoting Foreign Language Learning under the Uzbekistan Cabinet of Ministers to lead actually these efforts. With great honor, Cambridge and the agency signed a special memorandum of understanding back in September 2021 and to explore collaboration around English language learning, around teacher training, around assessment and learning materials. We are very happy that Cambridge Assessment and the Agency for Promoting Foreign Languages have been working really hard together on delivering linguist skill tests. This is one of the tests the government has approved to demonstrate the English language skills of teachers in Uzbekistan. And we are really happy that it also enables teachers to engage with a range of tests produced by Cambridge, of course, including the TKT, Teaching Knowledge Test. So we are really happy to see, we are excited that thousands of teachers in Uzbekistan are preparing and passing TKT right now. This is a huge success, a great achievement. And as Cambridge, we are really happy and ready, so many words with happy today, to support you in this. With this type of webinars, we hope to have more next academic year. We are eager to meet you face to face and of course with lots of free resources. So in August, we are developing a cohort of Uzbek skilled teacher trainers to support delivery of teacher development program on TKT preparation across the country. What we'll be doing, so in August, we'll train 50 teachers and give them a model how to prepare other teachers for TKT. So, and we do hope that many teachers across the whole country will be trained by those 50 Uzbek teacher trainers, and probably you will be one of them and pass this TKT test next academic year. So this is a great achievement. I am very happy for teachers, English language teachers in Uzbekistan. Please work hard and you'll definitely pass this test. Now, so I have no time. Anna, can you hear us well? Okay. Yeah, hello. I was just talking about an excellent initiative in Uzbekistan regarding TKT, and that's sometimes the answer to your question, why are the participants so active? Because they do want to pass successfully. Thanks for 2 wonderful days. I'm listening every minute today. Thanks. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Elena. Yes, and hello everyone. Good to see you again. Well, I'm saying good to see you, but obviously I can only see your messages in the chat box. Hello, hello. Yeah, thanks for coming again. So you know that this will be our final day and we'll be delving into Module 3 related issues. But of course, I'll help you revise some of the things from the previous modules as well. So let's get started, I guess. First, perhaps we can talk a little bit about your expectations, right? How about that? Could you use the chat box and type in something about your motivation? Why are you taking part in this series of webinars? Yeah. Would you like to take TKT? You've already taken TKT, but you are still interested in, you know, some issues related to different models. You want to train other teachers, perhaps. You know, Elena has mentioned that course for teacher trainers. Good. Yeah. Okay. So you've taken some modules and you want to continue. You'll be taking some others. Great. Yeah, new skills. Very good, very good. Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to collaborate with like-minded people, right? So when we come together talk about TKT, it's not only about the test, right? It's mostly about teaching. Yeah, professional development in general. Absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, get ideas from each other, perhaps. Yeah, boost up knowledge. Yeah, expand repertoire of your teaching techniques, because we share a lot. Yeah, you use the chat box, and I'm really inspired by what you're saying sometimes. Fantastic. Keep up the good work. Please do the same thing today. Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing. So your responses show actually a genuine interest to the topic, and obviously that you are eager to develop professionally, and that's what teaching is like. Yeah, it's a never ending process. We keep learning, and that's how we can help our students more efficiently. So I also would like to know if you attended the previous two sessions. So remember, if you attended the first one, you can type in 1. If you attended the first and the second, you can type 1 and 2. And if you've attended all of them, right? Well, obviously, if you're here today, you're attending this one. But I mean, if it is the first module you're attending, type in 3 in the chat box. Yeah, 2. Okay, some newcomers. Great, welcome. And some of you are really experienced. Well done. So you attended 1 or 2 previous webinars. And obviously you'll get the slides, and the recordings will be available right after the webinar. That's great. Okay. So I have a fun activity for us to start with. I actually missed what Alexander was saying, and I'm terribly sorry. I was late. Have a look. My goldfish just died. That said, of course. So why do you think I said my goldfish has just died? What was the reason? Oh, thank you, Lena. Yeah. Oh, thank you, guys. You're so supportive. Yeah. So what's the idea? What's the idea? Why? Yes, I wanted to elicit, of course, your sympathetic responses. Thank you very much. Yeah. But why would people, like serious people, say something like this at the beginning of a meeting or something else? Elicit, yeah. So that's how you can introduce the topic. And what do you think the topic is likely to be? Exactly, break the ice. Yeah. So we can talk about work-related issues, yeah, and to contextualize the topic, perhaps we can talk about different excuses we can make when we are late, when we are running late, okay? So could you please use your ideas, use the chat box and share your ideas. What are the excuses you can make if you are late for a meeting? Anyone? Yes, yeah, there has been a traffic jam. Yeah, I got stuck. Yes, babies, of course. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is quite common. Yeah, a kind of white lie, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit unwell today. Yeah, I'm still under the weather. Yeah, exactly. Good. You see, yeah, we're on the same page. Just reading your mind. Great. Yeah, exactly. It might depend on the situation, but this kind of activity can be a nice introductory activity. Yeah, kind of leading to a text, yeah, that the students will have to read. So for example, like this one, if you follow the link, you will see a fantastic article. It's authentic, but you can use it for different levels. So have a look. I'll give you a moment to have a look. Okay, yeah. So Do you think we can use this article for intermediate students? Type in a plus if you think it's appropriate. I mean, it's an authentic text. Obviously, we can use it for advanced learners, yeah? But how about slightly low levels? Yeah, we can use it. Now, what tasks can we use, can we create based on that text? Let's brainstorm ideas. So we want to help our students develop reading and obviously build confidence, right? So the task should be quite straightforward and manageable. What comes to mind? Have a look at the layout of the text. Predictions, very good. So first we've predicted using the chat box. Now let's read the article and check if the ideas are the same or different. That's a great idea. Yeah, what else? Yes, you can project it. Yeah, absolutely. Or you can send the students a link in a chart. Yeah. Yeah. What kind of activities? Organization. Very good. So you can focus on how the text has been presented, right? And obviously there are clear sections, right? And there are subheadings there. And if you remove the titles, the subheadings, you can ask your students to read for gist and come up with the names for each section, right? That'll be a nice gist activity. And then you can show the real text. Yeah, they will be skimming, absolutely, right. So we have some nice ideas for the lead-in. I could see that you wanted to teach some vocabulary. Yeah, perhaps it will be natural and useful. Then you set up that gist reading that I've just mentioned. And probably we can exploit the text further, yeah, reading it more thoroughly. So what tasks can be designed to help students focus on either specific information or detailed understanding? Yeah, what kind of task types can you consider? A mind map, creating a mind map. Wow, I like it. Yeah, yeah. True false statements. Yeah, something very popular. Maybe a gap fill, but gap fill tends to be with the focus on language, but some kind of project work, perhaps, yeah, read this article and create your own section, yeah, using your own idea. Yeah, or putting things in order. That's a good idea. Matching things, yeah. Great. Summarizing, wow. So we can involve students into evaluating the article, thinking critically, yeah, extracting the most important bits of information and summarizing. Great. Advantages, disadvantages. Jigsaw, good. We have sections, so we can give different students different paragraphs. Wow. Oh, we've been so productive. You see, I thought it would be just a nice icebreaker, but it becomes so useful. And we sort of revise some of the principles of teaching, yeah, how a reading lesson might be designed, yeah, what's the shape of the lesson, lead-in, pre-teaching, the first reading for gist, then the second reading task, which is slightly more challenging, and then some kind of productive activity, for example, write a section using your own idea. Great, that's awesome. So previously we've talked about some other things. For example, different aspects of language. Yeah, naming a text, yeah, exactly. So I'm going to read out an example and you tell me if the focus there is on fluency or accuracy. Students feel quite confident because they're interested in this discussion. The topic is appealing, yeah? Right, the task is with the focus on fluency there. I ask the students to use the present perfect. Yeah, the second one is accuracy based, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so we've just brainstormed a couple of things, and I helped you revise some of the things from the previous webinars, so hopefully it helps. Now let's have a look. Which modules have I given you examples from? Module 1 or Module 2? Did I give you examples related to teaching in general and how languages are learned, or planning and using teaching materials? Yes, so we mostly agree that I had a couple of activities in mind to demonstrate different things that we can use, yeah, like teaching materials, different teaching aids. But you're right if you're saying Module 1, because some of the principles, like the differences between accuracy and fluency, yeah, or how we can sequence a lesson on reading and how skills can be developed. Yeah, we don't give our students a very complex task right away, write a paragraph using your idea. First, we show them a model. And first, before that, yeah, in fact, we actually check comprehension of that model. So they read the text first, right? So there are certain principles from Module 1 as well. So we've just done a very good job. And you can see here all the models that are available so far. So Module 1 will help you, well, if you prepare for that model, it will help you brush up on some principles of learning and teaching. And there are many things embedded there, such as learners, focus on the learners in general, yeah, how to collect needs analysis, motivational theories. I'm a great fan of different motivational theories, and I think we all need to help our students develop growth mindset, if you want. Yeah, I'll be referring to Carol Dweck, who mentioned that in her book. And the growth mindset, it means that we want our students to focus on the process and enjoy the process of learning. Yeah, they're becoming better, more active, more responsible learners. Whereas people with a fixed mindset, they sort of think, I have this talent, I'm not good at this, so I won't be doing that, right? Something like this. So I think we need to create this kind of open-mindedness attitude of being open-minded in our students. Anyway, so motivational theories, and coming back to what Module 1 covers, language systems and skills. And how many skills, how many language skills can we mention? Type in a number of language skills. Well done. Yes, absolutely 4. And there will be 2 productive skills. Yeah, writing and speaking. And there will be 2, what kind of skills? Receptive skills, exactly, listening and reading, right? And what do you think comes first, reception or production? Yeah, usually we expose students, yeah, to different texts, to the information, to equip them with language, and also to give them some ideas. And then, of course, they're better prepared for producing oral speech, text, whatever, yeah, dialogues, being involved in different conversation, or producing a written text. Right. Now let's talk about, yeah, and also, of course, the methods, yeah, methodology, teaching principles, and TKT is about teaching communicatively. So we've talked about that. Now, in the second model, the focus was mainly on planning lessons, and also choosing tools, yeah, some activities, techniques, different, again, choosing the shape of the lesson when you prepare your materials. And of course, relying on different resources. So as you can see today, we'll be talking about the third model, which is primarily focused on classroom management. Yeah, but classroom management is an umbrella term if you think about it. Basically, it's teaching. Whatever you do during your lessons, it's classroom management, right? Even if you turn around, yeah, even if you switch on, I don't know, your camera, yeah, if it is an online lesson, it's also classroom management. So some really, really tiny bits and pieces that become very important. Yeah. Okay. So classroom management, right? Just to inspire those who have already taken 3 core modules, yeah, perhaps you can consider TKT Young Learners and TKT CLIL. So if you think TKT Young Learners is too easy, perhaps you can nick some examples of classroom activities, good techniques. There are some. And you can consider TKT CLIL because it might be really challenging to differentiate between different critical skills. Right, just to remind those of you who missed 1 or 2 webinars, that TKT is a qualification which is widely recognized, and you can earn a certificate, yeah, whatever the depth of your knowledge is like, yeah. So if you have limited knowledge, you'll get a certificate of band 1. If you have extensive knowledge, which is amazing, of course, you can earn band 4. So basically, to achieve band 4, you need to demonstrate comprehensive and accurate knowledge of the areas tested in the module. So if we talk about the 3rd module, then classroom management. If we talk about the 1st module, then background to language teaching and learning. And the 2nd, of course, will be on lesson planning. So you will have to show your familiarity with the terms, responding promptly to the questions, and choosing the right answers. Of course, it's not necessary to take a preparation course, but it can be very helpful if you explore some sample papers and some useful materials from Cambridge, right? So here is the website, cambridgeenglish.org, where you can find all the necessary information and choose their exam center to register for the test. Yes, and you can, of course, prepare yourself, yeah, without anyone's help, reading books, exploring sample papers, reflecting on your own teaching experience, something like that. Now, what you can find on the website is presented on this slide. The handbook is the most important source of information because all the descriptions are there. And also there are some sample tests, then the glossary, and again, you can Google for some sample papers on the internet. Some other books that we've mentioned previously, just to remind you of a few. First of all, there is a course book for TKT. So those of you who are studying on your own, it's a good idea to be equipped with this one. There is also an online version of this TKT preparation. Yeah, you can see the link in the chat box. And there are some other books by Jeremy Harmey. We've talked about Scrivener's book, Scott Thornberry's book, and some other authors. So wherever you can see something like learning, teaching, teacher knowledge, yeah, or how to teach English, will be very, very helpful. And this, I totally agree that the glossary is of huge importance, yeah, because we can use different terms to describe the same things. For example, skimming, gist reading, yeah, reading for general understanding, they all mean the same. So it's good to be aware of different terms. Quite often in task types, you can see some of the things you have to match, yeah, and you'll be searching for keywords, synonyms, concepts of the same kind. Right, so that's our priority for today, managing teaching basically, yeah, and managing the learning process. Okay, So here is my first quiz for you. So how many sections do you think are there in Module 3? Yeah, okay, so there are 5 modules in TKT, but in Module 3, there are 3 logical sections, yeah? They're subdivided into topical areas. We'll talk about the focus of each in a moment. Now, what terms, what concepts do you think are likely to be there in Module 3? So what classroom management entails? What does it entail? Teaching methods? Well, actually, teaching methods are covered in Module 1. Skills, teaching skills, right? But what kind of skills? Roles, very good, teacher roles. Assessment, correction techniques, feedback techniques, fantastic, great ideas, yeah. The stages of the lesson are covered in the second module. It's more about lesson planning. Time management, maybe, yeah, like how to shorten some of the activities, how to extend them. Grouping students, absolutely right, awesome. Evaluating your own lesson, okay, perhaps. Yeah, error correction, obviously, yeah. Yes, atmosphere, exactly. Remember, we've talked about metaphors previously. Well, if you want to run a very good lesson and keep the student motivated, perhaps you're considering different types of things to entertain them, to keep them hooked. Yeah, there is an element of fun, there is a kind of competition, there is a goal that you can set for them, and so on and so forth. Yeah, exactly. So different types of things. But absolutely right. Maintaining a positive atmosphere is very important. Group dynamics, yes. Rapport, building rapport with your students. Yes, grabbing their attention and keeping them alert and focused. Absolutely right. Awesome. Yeah, and also eliciting and some other techniques that we can use. Yeah, perfect. Okay, awesome. Let's move on. So the most challenging tasks in Module 3, what might they be? Correcting learners, maybe. Testing, probably. Teacher roles. Yeah, you know, some roles coincide. There is an overlap, yeah, and it's quite to differentiate between them. That's why I've created an activity for us to clarify some of the roles. Yeah, feedback, very important. So, yeah, great ideas. Okay, so let's have a look. So in the third module, there are 3 logical sections, yeah? Like what actually might happen in the classroom, yeah? Teacher roles, you've mentioned that. And also managing interactions, exploiting teaching materials, activities, and so on, and giving feedback is also there. Yeah, so you've mentioned quite a few of them. You'll be given still 80 questions, yeah, and there will be a logical progression of the topical areas there. And the task types are still the same. Remember, we had matching, we had multiple choice, and they might be also not in some of the instructions, so be really careful for odd one outs, yeah? Keep an eye on them. And yes, you're saying it right, yeah, there are 80 minutes allocated for the test, and you'll be given 80 questions. Okay, so the most important areas can be split into 2, classroom language and classroom management. So technically speaking, we have, you know, what we have to say and what language to give to our learners and what we have to do and what the learners have to do, something like that, yeah? So keeping in mind these areas, let's have a look. So when we categorize learners' mistakes, do we work on language or classroom management? So put an L if it's about language and M if it is management. Very good. And when we group students, what's that about? That's obviously. When we give instructions, yeah, so there is an overlap. I can see both M and L. Yeah, obviously, when we give instructions, we sort of manage the classroom, yeah, manage the activity, set it up, and so on. But we also use our language. So, yeah. Okay. How about giving feedback? What's that about? Is it language-wise or classroom management-wise? Okay, again, we are in two minds, yeah, and I totally agree with you. There is an overlap, a huge overlap, because actually feedback might be on either language or ideas, right? And we can treat students as real people showing our interest, genuine interest to what they're saying, and it's more like classroom management. But then there is also language involved, and we can help them by giving some feedback on language, by sharing our own ideas, by giving a model and so on. Yeah, so feedback is a multifaceted phenomenon. Yeah, okay. Right, so how about functions? So when we listen to our students and try to identify the function of what they're saying, yeah, it's likely to be language-wise, of course, yeah, and we focus on whether it is accurate or not. If we're trying to figure out, perhaps it's a bit clumsy, and we need, yeah, exactly, and the exponents are either unclear or incorrect, or maybe the register is inappropriate or something else, yeah, if it requires some effort to figure that out. Perfect. Okay, right. So let's focus on teacher roles. Here is a slide with the grid where the roles are hidden. So if you can see one of them, manager, for example, perfect, yeah? Type in your IDs in the chat box. How many roles can you identify here? Lector. Do we have a lector here? I can't see it. Reflector, that's what I can see. But yeah, occasionally we can give a lecture, why not, yeah? Especially if you work for a university and in your teaching context, it's something relevant. Adapter, planner, advisor, monitor. Lots of great ideas. Manager, of course. Reflector. Good. Let's think of some synonyms actually, because some of their functions look similar, and I'll show you them here. What's the synonym for advisor? Find the synonym for advisor. Yeah, I would say counsel, of course, will be the best, perhaps, choice, yeah, if you wanted. But of course, some other might cover the same function. What will be the synonym for helper? Give me a synonym for helper, please. Facilitator, yes. Yeah, maybe one more word that can be used as a synonym here. Starts with E. Good, enabler, absolutely right. Yes, perfect. Okay. Could you give me a synonym for assessor? Yeah, you're right. What you're saying there, yeah, quite a lot of good ideas. But diagnosticial is the one I wanted to elicit. Yeah. So when we use different diagnostic tools to assess our learners. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Now let's think about the synonyms for planner. Which words we can use interchangeably? Organizer, not exactly, because we organize things having planned. But when we plan, what else do we do? What it might involve? Like you work with the teaching materials, yeah? You have to adapt them, exactly. And you also do something, yeah? You think about your learners. You think whether they like this activity or the topic or something. Yeah, you reflect. Yeah, exactly. So that might be used interchangeably occasionally. Okay, and sometimes we observe learners, or what's the synonym for the observer? Exactly, yeah, we monitor. Yeah, right. Okay, now when the students are not equipped linguistically, what do we do? Which roles can we keep in mind and use? Language resource, that's one of the things, good. Yeah, helper, we can prompt them somehow, yeah. If we don't have such a synonym prompter, perhaps we can create one. Yeah, supporter, good, yeah. Yeah, that's two, yeah. But we can also contribute, yeah, to their discussion, prompting them. So contributor as well. And if you think about that, yeah, perhaps we can also be, well, yes, tutor in general, yeah. Yeah, we can also tell a story. So what will that be like? Yeah, perfect, perfect. Okay, awesome. Now, have a look at the bullet points. They all refer to the same role. Which role is that? Yes, monitor. That's absolutely right. Yeah, that's what I meant to elicit. So we observe, we collect information. Yeah, we see who is involved, who is not. Yeah, we prompt them if necessary. But basically, we collect information about their active participation. Yeah, their degree of motivation, if they're putting efforts and so on. And we also take notes, making sure that everyone will be making progress, right? That's how you can give feedback based on either written or oral examples of their language use. Okay, how about this one? Which rule is that about? Yeah, if you're saying assessor, that makes sense to me. But could you give me, diagnostician, yeah? The definitions come from the glossary, TKT glossary. And this defines diagnostician. And of course, assessor and diagnostician are synonyms, but there is a shade of difference here. That's why I'm highlighting you the definitions. Yeah. So we sort of collect information about their preferences, needs, perceived needs, and then possible difficulties before we set up an activity or run a particular lesson. Yeah, it's diagnostic. And we assess students throughout, yeah, not necessarily at the beginning of the course or lesson, but later on too. Okay, have a look at this one. Yeah, so facilitator perhaps, because we demonstrate tasks, yeah. we give instructions. But those of you who are saying manager, you're absolutely right, because that is a big role. Yeah, that's grand. That's something very important, huge. And it entails so many things. Basically, you have to be very good at multitasking, keeping an eye on this and that, and getting ready for the next stage, and still helping students and being able to, you know, identify a problem if there is such a thing, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and that's why thorough planning actually can help. Okay, so manager. And this one, which role is it? Okay, so we have some similar ideas. You are using, yeah, a lot of similar things, yeah, like synonyms. And those of you who are saying it's facilitator, you are right. That's what the glossary says. And obviously in a definition, helping, it can't be just helper, but yeah, you got the idea right, yeah. Enabler, helper, yeah, provider, supporter, yeah, all of them, but the bigger term will be facilitator here. Right. How about this one? Good, I can see already the correct answer, reflector. So thinking, yeah, that's quite a synonymous way of expressing that idea, what we do, right? So do you think a reflector is a teacher's role only? Yeah, exactly. So students can also be asked to reflect on the experiences. And I think it's very good to allocate some time at the end of the lesson to help students think first about their achievements and then consolidate, summarize, and highlight some of them to confirm that, yeah. But you can also ask students to set goals for the next lesson or for the nearest future. Good. Okay, I think I have a couple of other riddles for you. Yeah, so this is the reflector. Now, which one is this? Good. Yes, you recognize many different lesson plan components. That's what we do. Yeah, we choose materials, we decide which methods to use, lesson frameworks, we anticipate problems, we make assumptions, we adjust our materials keeping in mind our learners' needs, the length of the lesson, and so on. And that's obviously about being a planner. And then, yeah, having planned everything, perhaps you'll be organizing these things. Right, okay. Now, one more role. Think carefully about that. It's not organizer. Yeah, so I agree that there is an element of planning something. You're like providing language input. Quite often you pre-plan that, yeah. But you can also deal with emergent language, yeah, and prompt students with something that they need, identifying some gaps in knowledge. Yeah, language resource. Now I can see the answer. Very good. This is it. Yeah, language resource. So it's being, of course, equipped, being aware of what the content of the lesson is, what language the students need, and reacting accordingly, depending on their contributions, maybe correcting them, maybe just consolidating, yeah? So giving feedback and input. You don't have to give handouts when you give input or feedback, right? You can just do it orally, or use the whiteboard. Okay, anyway, so this one is easy. So who can identify the role? Contributor, absolutely right, Anna. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Participating, putting forward, yeah, giving information, sort of supplying them with something. If they get stuck, for example, sometimes you need to do that, yeah. Okay, this one is quite important. The synonym for advisor, yeah, counselor, yeah, very good, amazing, yeah, you got it right, yeah. Sometimes we need to be psychologists of some kind, right? We need to show empathy, and without that, perhaps it's hard to maintain a positive rapport. So we need to show our interest, but also respond to different emotions. Yeah, great ideas. Thank you very much. Now, one more role. Yes, perfect. So we have assessor. Remember, we had diagnostician. Now compare that definition with this one. Assessor, yeah, has to do quite a lot. Not only evaluate something, diagnose something, but also check understanding, test students on the go, right, and give feedback. So lots of things. Assess is a lot bigger. Right, amazing. You see, I think, so most of the roles are easy, they're clear, they are straightforward. What makes the tasks related to teacher roles tricky is the variety of words, terms, meta language that can be used, right? And that's why I've got a sample task for you. Let's have a look at this one. Oops, yeah, assessor, just revealing the answer. Okay, have a look. So hopefully we don't have any new roles. We've talked about being a narrator, contributor, planner, and language resource. Have a look at the examples given and identify the correct answers. Yeah, okay, having worked with the definitions helped, I can see. Yeah, you are good at spotting that number one will be a contributor, yeah, putting forward ideas, participating in discussions, supplying students with information, yeah. There might be some other terms used, but this is quite common, yeah, contributor. And two is about being a language resource. Yeah, those of you who are saying 2D, you're absolutely right. The key word is language, yeah. Eliciting, clarifying, blah, blah, blah. Language, the key word. Correcting learners' language, yeah. Consolidating language and giving input or feedback, whatever, but it's language-wise. Right. Okay, so some of the roles are bigger than others. What is the biggest role? Yeah, not from this list, but from all the roles that come to mind. Manager, of course, yeah? I find manager tricky. So let's spot this activity where the teacher's function is being a manager only. Okay, so we agree that there are a couple of activities that gives us a hint on what managers do, right? Like number 1 and number 2. Because when you put students into groups, you're not planning the lesson, yeah? You're already doing it. That's something that is happening during the lesson, yeah? You're not giving them language, so you're not the language resource at this stage, yeah? And there is nothing to diagnose yet. Again, a noisy student, and you ask them, yeah, to slow down a little bit, to keep a low profile or something. Again, it's managing the activity, the stage of the lesson, and so on. But how about number 3? What do you think about number 3? Teacher invites students to suggest topics. Are topics ideas or language? Because I can see C's, I don't think it's about being a language resource. You're not giving them anything. You're not teaching them anything at this stage. You're collecting information about them, right? What kind of information do you want to collect? About their preferences, yeah? So you are being a diagnostician here. Yeah, so have a look at the answers. 3 is D. Yeah, I could see quite a few D's, but just to make sure everyone is on the same page. So when I started talking about teacher roles, I could see that you brainstormed ideas, and there were many other roles that we haven't covered yet. So, for example, a psychologist, yeah, something that comes to mind. Maybe some other roles like being a magician, sometimes, you know, some magic tricks that we can show. A parent, absolutely right, yeah. A gardener, oh, I like, yeah, that's my best metaphor, to be honest. Yeah, because we don't treat our students as empty vessels, pouring information into them, like knowledge into them, but we sort of help them grow. Yeah. Exactly. Actor. Oh, nice. I like it. Yeah. Any other? Mate. Being a mate. Yeah, absolutely right. Perfect. Prompt as well. Yeah. 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 Oh, captain. I like it. Or maybe conductor. Yeah. Something like that. Being a god. Like especially when they do a formal test. Nice. Supporter. Yeah, those are very important. Being a leader, of course. Yeah. You are still a leader even if you delegate some responsibilities. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Cheerleader. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, great ideas. I think I have motivator. I wanted to list something like that actually. Yeah. Inspiring students. Instructor, very good, of course. So I've got this sample test for you. Have a look. In the box, you can see teacher roles and ABC situations. I'm going to shut up, give you some time to read and do the task. Yeah, so if you think about recommending different websites, yeah, it's more about being a resource provider, yeah, recommending some useful websites in this case. Yeah, I would agree. Probably it's something natural to say goodbye. Yeah, have a great weekend. It's something that friends do. Parents can do that. Yeah, at the end of the week, for example. Yeah, or something like that. Absolutely. Very good. And how about C? Okay, so many of you agree that again, we are sharing some resources, yeah? There is an element of planning something ahead as well. And if you want, it's a very good example of flipped classroom, yeah? When you prepare students for the next class somehow, and at the same time, you keep them busy between classes. Yeah, absolutely right. Okay. Now, let's go back to classroom language. We have teacher language and learner language. So let me just give you an example, yeah? Imagine a situation. Will that be teacher language or learner language? Teacher language, yeah, obviously. Okay, I completely agree with you, but it actually both, exactly, yeah. So we can use this function to disagree politely, yeah, to chip in with our opinion there. Absolutely right. Okay. I think you mean, yeah, it can be both. Yeah, probably teachers prompt, yeah, at a certain stage, just to reformulate and correct students sensitively. Yeah, something like this. Yeah. Well, that's an interesting question. Both, of course, yeah. Exactly. Okay, now here I am showing you some functions, yeah, and of course teachers keep in mind different ways of giving instructions, clarifying meaning, yeah. They prompt students quite often, support students, praise students, and so on. Yeah, I'll show you some other examples in a moment. And students, yeah, from their side, yeah, they can also ask for clarification. They can use some fillers, yeah, and they probably want to interrupt sometimes because they're eager to share what they think, right? Okay, so remember I gave you a phrase, for example, can I chip in, please? What's that for? What's the function? Choose one of the functions that is highlighted on the slide. Can I chip in, please? Well, chip in is like to start talking, yeah, to pop in a question. So it's a nice feeler. It's a nice well, probably it's a phrase just to interrupt. Yeah. Yeah, maybe ask for clarification. Yeah, a kind of attention phrase to seek for attention. Yeah, to attract someone's attention. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe to give additional instructions. Yeah, that's been tricky. I agree. I challenged you too much. Okay, could you give me an example of a feeler? If you don't know what to say, you need some thinking time, which phrases you can use? Yeah, is good. Well, yeah, I've used that. Yeah. What else? Actually, okay. Some people do that. Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Remember, that's a bit longer, and we usually, exactly, it's on the tip of my tongue. Okay, let me just think. Good. Yeah, exactly. Okay, amazing. Okay, and if you want to check understanding and clarify the meaning of some phrases, yeah, you can say, does it mean, yeah, and then you give a definition, or you ask for a synonym, yeah, does it mean big, yeah, something like this, yeah. If you want to clarify huge, you can say, does it mean big, does it mean big or very big, yeah, something like this. Okay, awesome. So let's have a look. So here you can see some functions, something that teachers can use quite often. They're very useful. That's what I like about TKT. It's very practical. But I want to elicit examples from you. If you want to rephrase something, what's the function? Yeah, okay, you're giving good examples. And what do we call such a function? Yeah, paraphrasing, yeah, that's one of the things, yeah. But if it is a correction techniques, quite often we call it reformulation or recast, yeah. Have you heard of recasting? Yeah, great. Okay, amazing. Okay, now let's look at number 2. So you want to show that you got it. So what do you say? So first of all, yeah, we can use some paralinguistic clues like nodding, yeah, smiling, and so on. Yeah, acknowledgement, absolutely right, perfect. And what phrases we can use to acknowledge? Okay, I see, fantastic, yeah. Okay, now number 3. What's this? Yes, conveying meaning, yeah, perfect. Yeah, you got it right. Okay, let's move to number 4 right away. Praise, yeah. I'd say it's the most important thing, right? And how can we praise students? Excellent, yes. What else can we say? Bravo, yes, well done. Great job, Anything else? Yeah, amazing, yeah. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, how about number 5? Make something easier. Yeah, we grade our language, yeah, but sometimes we give instructions and they are too lengthy. So what do we need to do? Yeah, we need to make them clearer, shorter. So we simplify. Exactly. Good job. Yeah. You know, I don't have to wait long. Yeah, you are really, really smart. Thank you very much for sharing your ideas. It's so nice working with you. You're so actively involved. So, having looked at all the functions, any of them that you have to use every lesson, have a look. Yeah, good. Exactly. I think we do it all the time. Yeah, all of them. Praising is very important, but again, make it meaningful. Yeah, if your students are just saying something, perhaps it's not enough. Yeah, you can praise them when they've done it well, and then you can give a specific example what has been done, right? Okay. Now, let's look at the example. So the other way around, the examples are given. Now, what's the function? Yeah, some kind of confirmation, probably. Yeah. Remember the definitions I showed you previously. Acknowledge. Yes, absolutely right. Yes, very good. Yes, I've just used this example. Huge. Clarifying. Yes, conveying meaning, clarifying meaning. Yes, absolutely right. Good job. How about number 3? It's actually an eliciting question, yes. And what do you think? What do you think we want to elicit in this case? Yeah, different fruits, yeah, types of fruit, yeah. Okay, guys, have a look at number 4. Very good, well done, that's excellent work. Yes, praise, we all agree. Yeah. How about number 5 then? Prompting, yeah, exactly. So different types of eliciting techniques, yeah, or giving synonyms, or describing, defining things, giving the first letter. Those are different types of prompts. Absolutely right. Okay, and finally, number 6 here. What's that about? So you remember all the terms, right? So when you reformulate, yeah, you attract the students to attract their attention to the mistake. Yeah, you can use a rising intonation, for example, or something. Yeah, and you can also recast. Yeah, reformulating without attracting attention. Yeah. What parents usually do, yeah, they reformulate without attracting attention. Teachers quite often overcorrect students, but if the focus is on fluency, perhaps we don't need to do that. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So have a look at the answers. There are no surprises, I'm sure. Yeah, have a look. Okay, now let's imagine you are at the beginning of a stage, like, for example, controlled practice task, yeah? And what you do first? Yeah, you may elicit something. Yeah, I'm not sure we need to check something at this stage. The task hasn't been set up yet. We give, what do we give? Instructions, absolutely right. Awesome, okay. And when we give instructions, do we challenge students with some unfamiliar words? No. Do we use some peculiar phrases like, what I want you to do, guys? It's quite an interesting thing, actually, to focus on that right now. Yeah, you can go on and on, yeah? Yeah, so perhaps it should be simple, straightforward, concise, yeah? Very good, okay. If you hear that students are making a mistake and the focus is on accuracy, what do you have to do? Yes, you can repeat, yeah, what they've said, their utterance. You can reformulate or you can recast so that they can correct themselves, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can also ask questions, yeah, absolutely right. Anyway, you'll be correcting them, yeah, well done, you got it right. Okay, quite often you prepare students for reading texts and the students need some support there, yeah, a linguistic support. So what do you do to help them? Yes, you pre-teach some vocabulary, yeah? You may elicit some vocabulary by showing pictures, for example, yeah? Okay. If you want students to tell a story, what kind of role can you take to give a model? Can't see the answer yet. Facilitator, yes, but you give a model, you tell a story. Yes, very good, narrator. And when you talk about rules, like the present perfect is used to talk about previous experiences, and we can use it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of language resource, yeah, explaining the rules and so on. So I've just elicited the functions. You can see them in the box. The final one was explaining about language. Now have a look at the examples of classroom language from the sample task on your left and match the functions to the examples. Oh, you're really fast. Yes, absolutely. Giving instructions is number one. Perfect. great ideas about number 2. I could see already a couple of correct answers. It is about some kind of correction techniques, right? Yeah, like prompting students, pronunciation, yeah, and eliciting their self-correction. Okay, we all agree. Well, basically, yeah, that's my example. You see, perhaps it's somewhere in my head, you know, I keep using the same examples, yeah, explaining. Very good. How about number 4? Very good. 4D, yeah, telling a story of some kind. And 5A. Awesome. Okay, you see. Well, first of all, you've been well prepared, of course, but you were really prompt and answered without a delay. That's what you have to do on a test day. Just a little bit of thinking, yeah, eliminating some of their answers, and then transferring the correct answers to the answer sheet right away. Okay, so occasionally there are some problems. What happens in the classroom? Yeah, problems occur, right? So have a look at number 1. So a teacher is saying something like this: please tell me your names. But they're working with a class of elementary, secondary students. What may go wrong? Yeah, perhaps you need to introduce yourself first. And given an example actually is more natural. Yeah, what's your name is a lot more natural. Absolutely right. Yeah, it's kind of straightforward and intimidating. Yeah, please tell me your names. It's too formal. Yeah, and so on. Yeah, and some students might shy away. Exactly. Very good. Let's have a look at number 2. Yes, this is praising students, but there might be something wrong. Yeah, well done is a lot better, because exactly the sentence is too long. A kind of convoluted phrase for low-level learners. They won't understand. They'll be confused. Hopefully they'll get that the message is positive, but still, why to challenge them that much? Okay, number 3 then. Not suitable, big letters. Why not? Inappropriate. Why not? Yeah, too childish, I would say. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Again, the register appropriacy. So quite often our students, they sort of copy some of the phrases that they've heard. Maybe you use them talking to a manager, yeah, or a director of studies or something, and they've heard, or maybe, you know, they're exposed to different YouTube videos, films, and so on, and they're saying something which is inappropriate. But we as teachers sometimes, yeah, may sound very confusing just because we are not grading our language, or we are choosing the wrong register, or we don't consider the age of the students we are working with, something like this. Exactly. So what do we have to keep in mind? How do we ensure that our language is used appropriately? So I've mentioned quite a few things. Now use the chat box. Tell me what's behind that. Students level, absolutely right. What else? Register, perfect. Age. Motivation. Oh, interesting. I don't know what you mean. Needs. Yeah. Okay. So what kind of language should we use when we give instructions, give feedback, and so on? Simple, clear, absolutely right. Yeah, great idea. So direct, straightforward. Yeah. In terms of the register, yeah, either formal or informal, depending on who you're working with, like with business students, more formal, with kids, more informal, with teenagers, neutral, because it's tricky and they want to be treated as adult learners, yeah, but polite, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Now, occasionally you work with low-level students, and obviously you won't be using English all the time, right? So we use their first language so that they understand the instructions, so that, for example, I don't know, you can maintain the right discipline, yeah, and so on. What else can we use L1 for? Type in your ideas in the chat box. Share with me what you think, why we would use L1 in English lessons. Yes, we can use gestures. We can use translation techniques. Yeah. Yes, to give feedback, to motivate students. Absolutely right. Yeah, maybe for grammar exploration. Yeah, something like instead of giving them guided discovery, yeah, just briefly clarifying some rules. Yeah, that can help you save time. Yeah, yeah, behavior, obviously. Yeah. Okay, and I can see you are also showing some alternatives to using L1, yeah, to make your instructions clear. We can use visuals, well, which involves pictures, gestures, and so on. Yeah, exactly. Yes, reviewing your instructions. So lesson planning again, back to that, back to model 2. Right, have a look. Here, in the box, we have different purposes of first language use. For example, to check understanding, to explain something, to motivate students. You've mentioned those. And on the right, there are situations what the teacher is doing. Let's match them. Okay, I can see already the answers appearing. So 1A. Yeah, so checking understanding, absolutely right. 2C. Yeah, yeah, individual. Yeah, written, absolutely, to motivate students. Yeah, and obviously 3 is also to motivate students. Yeah, like, why don't you try this dictionary? It can help you. Yeah, or let's read this text together, or something like that, whatever. Or have a look at Quizlet, for example. You can revise some terms. And then number 4, we've got B, right? Yeah, the rules, the procedures, clarification. Of course, having explained what to do, you can also check understanding by asking instruction checking questions. Yeah, right. Okay. Now, so I can see that on the next slide, you will see something reading related. Now, how do we usually start exploring the text? What might be the first reading task? Yeah, let me just confirm the answers first of all, because you might be curious. Yeah, I haven't confirmed them yet. Yes, title. Yeah, so you can have a look at the title and ask them to make some predictions what they might be reading about. Yeah, making predictions in general, using perhaps an accompanying picture. Yeah. Guessing the title, that's already the first reading for G's task. Very good. Amazing. Yeah. 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 Great ideas. And if we want to pre-teach some vocabulary, I could see some of your ideas there. What do you think will be the technical aid that might be really useful at that stage? How can we elicit new words? Yeah, we can use pictures, of course. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, a mind map. Yeah, brainstorming ideas. Yeah, or using visuals. Flip charts, why not? Okay, so perhaps I won't be preparing you that long. You're well equipped. Let's have a look at the sample task. First, tell me what the task type you can see here. Is it matching or multiple choice? Multiple choice, yes. Okay, so come up with your ideas. I'll give you a moment to read. Okay. Very good. So many of you think that one is going to be B, yeah, and reading for the first time obviously will be yeah, that one, because A is about discussing opinions from the article. It should come after reading, yeah, and C is about reading in detail, maybe scanning, but it's likely to be detailed reading, yeah? So that's why it doesn't come as the most appropriate answer. So number 2A, you're saying. So using pictures to elicit. So we won't be asking students listen and repeat first, because we want them to understand the words first, right? And then, of course, you can drill the words, and then you can ask them to practice. And number 3, I haven't talked much about that situation, using a role play. What do we use it for? For practice, obviously. And I can see already some of you are giving answer C. That's right. So that's how you give instructions, yeah, and clarify what roles they have to take and what to do there. Yeah, and then if you put it in order, actually, yeah, you can sequence the micro stages here. That's a nice activity. Okay, perhaps I'll show you one more sample task before we delve into something different. So have a look. Teachers' instructions during the lesson and teacher trainers who observed that lesson comments. Okay, let me see. 1B, perfect, well done. So the problem with 1 is giving too much information, yeah? So first you group them and then you give them a hint, compare your answers. Yeah. Yeah, 2A, absolutely right. And how about number 3? C, wow, amazing. You're good. Exactly, yeah. Okay, okay. So we have one answer that we haven't used. That happens quite often in tasks. You are given different number of things to match. So that's called multiple matching. And some of the options you can use several times as well. Okay, guys, remember I talked about sequencing tasks. So here is one for you. Let's identify the order of the stages. So the first thing, setting up a vocabulary review activity. What might come first? C. Yes, today we're going to review some vocabulary. Yes, signposting. What do we do next? Yes, open your books. Exactly. B. Very good. Then we have, yes, that's the answer for the first one. Okay, absolutely right. Those of you who typed it. Now let's have a look at number 2. How can you set up controlled speaking practice? Good. We start with B. Yeah, look at the handout and you show it. You don't give it to them yet. Yeah, perfect. I could see the correct answers. Well done. So we sort of stage all the instructions there without overloading students, one step at a time. Okay, and finally, let's have a look at the third situation here. Shall we start with A? I think we can start with D actually. Yeah, yeah, sort of demonstrating what to do. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, good. All right. That's quite a challenging task. Usually in TKT, you'll have to identify the first thing only, yeah? But it's a training activity that can help us for the future. Now, remember, yesterday we mentioned different interaction patterns. So we plan a variety of activities for different interactions, yeah? So that the students work with different partners in a variety of ways. Now have a look at the description, yeah, A. Students work with a partner doing pair work. So which diagram represents that? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Choose the picture. Closed pairs. Yeah, absolutely right. It's number 3. And by closed pairs, we mean when all students work with a partner, yeah, and teacher is free to monitor, right? Unlike open pairs, when we can, for example, demonstrate an activity, and only 2 students are involved, and everyone else is listening to them, yeah. So, good. So then B will be open class. An open class activity, right? That will be number 1 perhaps, right? I can't see. Yeah, B is 1, yeah, yeah, awesome. And then open pairs, when we demonstrate an activity, for example, yes, this is C4, yeah. And finally, individual work, when students just observes. Oh, sorry, the teacher observes, of course, and students work on their own. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Can you see the red answers? Let's confirm. Hopefully, you understand them. Okay. Awesome. Right. Yeah, and obviously you keep in mind different activities you can use with different types of interaction patterns. But now we'll focus on the problems that might occur while working with pairs or groups. Some students get bored, some students can start using L1, and some students dominate. You have too active, too loud students. Have a look at their strategies to deal with these situations. Okay, 1A, very good, very good. Yeah, so perhaps extra activities or expanding the activities, personalizing them, yeah. Like you've done controlled practice, now think of which sentences are true, which sentences you need to change to make them true about yourselves, something like that. That can work even better. Yeah, exactly. They switch into L1 when they don't know how to say something. So you need to prepare them, supplying them with some functions. So 2B, well done. Yes, it's easy to get bored, yeah, if the tasks are too easy. We need to maintain the right level of challenge. And yeah, so that's how we introduce more activities, more challenging tasks. And number 4, oh, nice. Yeah, great ideas. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. Right, so we've talked about so many things already, but this is not over. Yeah, we still need to cover quite a few other things related to classroom management. And one of the things is giving feedback. So have a look at the slide. There are 6 statements. Now read them all and type in the chat box the number of the statements that are true, in your opinion. Okay. 4 is true, yeah? Constructive, absolutely. That's the key word there. You can't just say this is wrong. You need to say what is being wrong. Like, for example, this word is uncountable. Don't use an article here or something like that, yeah? You need to be specific. You need to give a particular example. Yeah. And 5 might be true, yeah? We need to show the students that they're making progress, actually. They're on the right track, they're doing the right thing, and they need to keep it up. Good, yes. I would say the rest is false, right? So it's not only from teacher to students, it can be the other way around. Students can give feedback to each other. They can be involved in giving information to the teacher about their preferences, the lesson, the activities, and so on. Yeah. Feedback is not only based on accuracy. Yeah, you can also focus on fluency, students' achievements, good language use, just their ideas. The topic of the class, I don't know. Sometimes you work on fossilized errors. Sometimes there is something else that becomes more important, yeah. Of course, your priority is the topic, yeah, of the lesson and the target language, but sometimes there will be something else that you have to deal with. And as for number 6, many of you are saying it might be false, might be true. Yes, I agree. Teacher, of course, will talk, will confirm some of the things. Students expect you to do that. But it doesn't have to be the only teacher, the only way of dealing with feedback activities in general. Good. So when you think about feedback in general, what comes to mind? Yeah, who is giving feedback? Either it's teacher-led or student are talking and helping each other improve. Maybe it's like self-reflection that you can promote as well. What kind of level of students you're working with? So the expectations might be different, of course. And then how to give feedback? Is it just oral feedback or it's written? So what's the mode of that? And what you focus on? Content, accuracy, language, achievements, progress, behavior, yeah, many different things. So have a look at the focus or at the feedback, yeah, given to students. What's the focus? Like number one, you've really made progress in your use of tenses. What's the focus on? Accuracy, absolutely right. Now, number two, you need to pay attention to how you structure, how you structure your essays. Layout, very good. Yeah, again, the focus is on accuracy mainly. Language, skills as well. Now, number three, be careful with pronunciation. Yeah, so focus on pronunciation, but of course, accuracy again, oral accuracy, yeah, sounds and so on. Yeah, good. How about number four? Number four is a good example, yeah, of feedback on effort, motivation, yeah, contributions and so on. Yes, exactly. Hard work. And how about number five? Try to read more about your subject before you start writing. Yeah, it's giving support, prompting students, showing them what can be done. Yeah, exactly. Preparing them for writing, improving content preparation. Yeah, working on that. Very good. Okay, guys, so here is a sample task related to written feedback. I mean, feedback on the written work. Yeah, I remember some of you mentioned correction codes previously. So if you put, for example, WW, it means wrong word, yeah, or T for tenses, or articles, or grammar, yeah, something like that, and students have to correct themselves. Yeah, absolutely right. One is A. Yes, 2C, perfect, well done. Okay, I can see a couple of fast finishes. So I'm revealing the answers. Yeah, so a system of smiley faces, yeah, to praise students and highlight their achievements in a more engaging and fun way. Right. Okay, now let's have a look at error correction, because feedback, of course, entails some error correction. Yeah, probably a delayed, but sometimes even hot correction. So have a look at the attitudes of different teachers and choose the one that resonates with you. Are you like teacher A, B, or C? Yeah, I correct students sometimes, but not all the time. If the focus is on accuracy, on language, I correct them. I quite like teachers' B attitude. Yeah. I never let my students make mistakes. That's awful, I think. They will never become fluent with this attitude. Yeah. As little as possible. It might be tricky because some of the errors might be fossilized. Yeah. So try to find the right balance between B and C, in my opinion. Yeah. Right. But obviously it depends BBB, on the stage of the lesson, the course, the age of your students, their priorities, their goals in the future. For example, if it's exam preparation, then perhaps you need to correct more, shifting towards A. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Okay. Now, again, the same thing. Remember about feedback. Who is giving feedback? How to do it? When to do it or not? Yeah. So the same about correcting learners. Students can use self-correction. Yeah, you just need to prompt them. I could see that some of you are saying that you work with high-level students. Perhaps you can encourage them to correct themselves if there is a problem. If they don't make many errors, it means you're not upgrading their level. Help them learn something new. Yeah, so it's also part of giving feedback. Yeah. And we can use a variety of correction techniques. So here we can see some examples: delayed correction, correction code, reformulation, which we mentioned previously, and some other things. Have a look at their sample task, and let's match the situations with the correction techniques. Yes, 1C, perfect. Delayed correction, we won't be interrupting them. 2E, yeah. So we repeat, don't. This is echoing. Yes, 3H, perfect. And 4 is I, yeah, using the correction code, yeah. P for punctuation, for example. And then the students will think like whether to use a comma there, or there might be some other problems related to punctuation. Good, amazing. So here is an example of the correction codes. Perhaps you're using something similar. Maybe you use different codes. The most important thing perhaps is to train your students, yeah, so that they recognize the symbols. Otherwise, it doesn't matter which ones you're using. So let's have a look at this example. Use the correction codes, identify the errors you can see here. Tenses, yeah, I would say tense or grammar, something like that. Yeah, wrong words. Very good. Yeah, wrong tense. Yeah, grammar in general. Yeah, maybe spelling, maybe something is missing, something like that. Yeah, or is not necessary. So that's what I've done. But perhaps you can use some other codes as well. Yeah, spelling or wrong word, yeah, will do. For no, obviously, you got it right. Yeah. Yeah. And then punctuation, I didn't see punctuation, but probably, yeah, you had that idea. Okay, what task type can you see in front of you? Is it multiple choice? Be careful. Odd one out. Well done, Ekaterina. Yeah. So let's do it. That's tricky question. So one of the reasons is not appropriate. So you have to focus on inappropriate options. I can see A quietly. I think it's possible to correct students quietly to make it less intimidating when they're telling stories in groups, for example. So A is good. B perhaps again is possible, but C is the wrong one, and that's what we need. So 1C, absolutely right. Okay. Good. Yes. Yes, absolutely right. B is the one that we need, yeah, to circle, yeah. And obviously in the question paper, you just circle the answers, but then when you transfer the answers to the answer sheet, you'll be shading B box. Yeah, very good. Amazing. Right, now guys, we've talked about classroom management today. Could you remind me what's behind classroom management? What you remember from the session? What are your takeaways? So use the chat box. So what things we've talked about? Teacher roles, definitely timing. So managing activities, keeping in mind the pace of the lesson. Feedback, giving feedback, yeah. Okay. Correcting learners, yes. Seating arrangements, yeah. Using correction codes and other correction techniques like fingers, for example. Praising students. Yes, using different diagnostic tools to collect information about our students' needs. Making some predictions, why not? Assessing students, yeah, that's ongoing. Giving instructions, yeah, being well prepared. I think it's more about the previous model, lesson planning, but yeah, can help. Yeah. Interaction patterns, yeah, arranging different open pairs first to demonstrate an activity and then splitting students into closed pairs. Yes, monitoring, very good. Wow, amazing answers. Some of you are very detailed there. Yes, organizing everything well. So, yeah, prompting students, giving advice. Monitoring, yeah. Helping, yes. How to, good, dominating students, right? Yeah, so catering for different students' needs, weaker students. Yeah, absolutely. Observing, counseling, facilitating, reflecting. This is the most important in my opinion. Yeah. So if you just observe, but then ignore the information you've collected, that's nothing. Yeah, that's been a waste of time. But if you reflect and actually use that information wisely, giving appropriate feedback, like today, for example, one of my CELTA trainees, she had to deliver a lesson on writing. And at a certain stage, they realized that some students got stuck. They don't know what to do and how to do it. And she changed the order of her activities in the lesson. And she gave them additional support by showing a model text before asking them to write their own texts. And that helped everyone. And I think that was the right decision. So we always need to think on our feet and respond to our students' needs. It's important to anticipate problems, obviously. That's how it can work less clumsy if everything is planned ahead. Like if necessary, I'll help them at this stage. If not, perhaps the other time, yeah, or a bit later during the lesson, yeah. And motivating students. So in my opinion, being well prepared, of course, is one of the key strategies, perhaps, yeah. And that's why we have the order of TKT modules. Yeah, the order of the topics is very clear. So first, we think about our background knowledge of our learners, the teaching principles, we brush up on that. Then we start planning our lessons, and hopefully it gets easier and we better understand the lesson frameworks. And then we start teaching our students, yeah, and being well prepared helps us respond to them, yeah, and then we manage the classroom, taking different roles and helping students learn in the most efficient way. We need to be able to control our voice, if you think about that. I don't think it's covered in TKT explicitly, but I've seen some sample papers when you have to say something louder, yeah, you emphasize something, or maybe you use an intonation of a question to attract students' attention. So you need to control your voice, really, yeah. And then you need to set up boundaries to make sure the students are motivated, well behaved, so that everything goes smoothly during the lessons. Sometimes you make spontaneous decisions in the lessons, right? It can't go like according to the plan all the time. There will be some unexpected things, right? Be ready and react from your head. And then praising students. And we've talked about quite a lot of phrases we can use to praise our students, and hopefully they'll be saying thank you back, right? And then, of course, the whole thing, yeah, being well organized. If you think about that, that's how we do. So what I've just done, what do we call this stage of the lesson when something like this might happen? Yeah, so we work, yeah, wrapping up, summarizing, yeah. A kind of consolidation, right? Yes, an exit ticket, yeah. So what you've learned, what you remember, what are your takeaways, things like that. It's a kind of feedback, yeah. I wish I could see your faces right now. Hopefully you're tired. I wanted to challenge you, but at the same time, I wanted to help you brush up on your knowledge because you're well equipped already. So yeah, that's been it. So different classroom management techniques. And now I'm ready to answer your questions. Okay, perhaps there are some questions actually. Right, yeah, about the bands, yeah. So let me just explain what happens there. So basically you need to answer something like 80% of the questions right, yeah, correctly, to be awarded band 4, but there is no exact number, as Yelena has clarified already. So Cambridge people first collect their tests, whatever the test is, like TKT or Delta Module 1, for example. First they collect, they analyze the results, and then they decide which bands to award to different people. Thank you very much for being active participants. And we have some practical questions, Elena, over to you, how to register.
Yes. Okay, just to remind you, please don't worry about the recordings of the PPT and the certificates of attendance. So at the beginning of next week, everything will be in your follow-up letter, and as we promised, there will be a special form you need to fill in and choose one digibook on methodology. So, and you'll receive these things just later. Okay. So if everything is fine, let me thank Anna for a wonderful presentation today and 3 exciting days we all have together. Thanks a lot, dear teachers, for very, very active participation. Thanks a lot, and we do hope to see you again. Okay, just a couple of seconds for Anna to enjoy the comments and lots of thanks. Okay.
Thank you guys. Yeah, you've been amazing, and thank you for inviting me, Elena. Yeah,
great.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, right. So I see that there are some problems with downloading. Please write to the email. Let me put my email in the chat box for those who have some problems with ebooks. Sorry. I assume it might disappear, but anyway. Okay, here is my email. If you have any questions, this is jelena.markova@cambridge.org. Okay, great. Okay, thanks. Right. Okay, perfect. So we are closing our webinar and hope to see you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.